I've been listening a lot this year as I've pivoted from a previous career into a new space. I've been listening to business leaders, to CEOs, to managing directors, to operations directors, various C-suite senior individuals in any sector, right? And that's been the humanitarian space where I've cut my teeth, but also in the marketing space, in the therapeutic space, in the construction industry space. There's been a bunch of organisations and industries that I've been listening to. And one thing resonates and is true across all of those people is an uncertainty about where we go next. The world that we knew, the world that we've been comfortable with, is now not the world that we live in, and it's not the world that we're going to live in over the coming years either, right? The old ways are discredited, but the new ways are yet to be written. So that means change. That means uncertainty. And what I've been hearing is a combination of reactions to that, a fear of the unknown, a fear of not knowing the answer, a fear of imposter syndrome, but also a retrenchment, a retraction into what we've always done. There's a retreat into safety zone of what we've always done, because that's what worked in the past. But it's patterned behaviour, and it's arguably the definition of insanity, which everyone attributes to Einstein, but I don't think it was. But that idea of doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. And I've reframed it a little bit more recently as the curious change. And my offering, my invitation to leaders in any sector is to embrace the curious change. Now, that doesn't mean be curious about change and ask yourself what the change is. That's helpful. But the curious change is about being curious. It's about opening up, understanding a newness to the approaches. I was having coffee this morning with someone who's doing some phenomenal work in the community space in Somerset, and I introduced her to the word coddywomple. When coddywomple means to walk purposefully towards a vague destination. And that's where I think we need to be, because it's only in the curious, it's only in that creative that we're going to be able to advance and move forward. Now this is based on psychodynamic theory of a guy called Jacques Lacan, where he talks about three moments. There's the moment of seeing, the moment of understanding, and the moment of action. And the moment of seeing is that immediate instinctive reaction you have when you encounter a challenge and a problem. And that works, and that's helpful. And in many ways, as a westernized society, we've rewarded that over the years with promotion and seniority in an org chart, because we place value in someone's judgment based off their experience. And that's fine, that's great. And there are many scenarios where that is appropriate. But it's not the way that every problem can be resolved. And so sometimes for the wicked and the complex problems in particular, you need to go down the next level into the moment of understanding. And that moment of understanding requires depth analysis. It requires an understanding of who you are, your own personal response to change, but it also requires that wider lens, that ability to see the whole and to ask yourself difficult questions in conversations with yourself and your teams. What's our role? What's our link in the value chain here? Are we the solution? Who is the solution? What's the outcome we're looking for? Not just the output we're expected to deliver. And if you sit there, it can get uncomfortable. But it arguably needs to be uncomfortable. And if you don't stay there, and a lot of time people get scared of this point, they get frustrated with with the moment of understanding, because it means they then retreat back into patterned behaviour of moment of the seeing, and then that's that definition of insanity cycle. So if you stay in that moment of understanding, and then you can move forward to that moment of action, the third moment, the moment of action. But to do that and to stay in that moment of understanding, you've got to be curious, you've got to be creative, you've got to ask yourself how we get there. Now that's incredibly difficult to do if we're feeling anxious or scared or uncertain. If we're in a place of fear, it's very difficult to start leaning forward. And this is where the leadership challenge comes in. Right? Leaders of today need to embrace that curious change, that ability to be curious and creative, to do the internal self-work on who you are and why you're feeling the way you are about change, and the impacts that those emotions are having on your behavior, on your leadership style, on the way that your teams are embracing change. Are you closing down opportunities? Are you restricting people in being able to do what they need to do? And this is where I can help, and I've had a lot of success with this with people. One particular example, I worked with a team and their leadership team, and it was the extended leadership team, so there's like 20 odd people in this group. And the team leader of that group, ended the 3 days that we did with a statement which I think is wonderful, because he said he started with this fear and this inability to say, I don't know. He felt that he was expected to know the answer, and he was scared because he didn't. And now he was ending, after the 3 days where I'd worked with the team and we'd given them some new approaches, new techniques and stuff, he started saying, I'm no longer scared of saying I don't know, because he could follow that statement with, but I know how we can find out. And just that simple shift in confidence to be able to say, I don't know, but we'll walk in this way together. We will coddywomple our way forward. To walk purposefully towards a vague destination with curiosity, with creativity, I think is powerful. But people struggle to do it on their own. So if you're a leader, if you're struggling to answer that question or add the second part to that statement with your teams, or you just want some work on yourself to understand your own reactions, let me know. I can work with you as an individual, I can work with you as a team, I can help you work on your strategy side of things as well as the internal depth reflection piece. So reach out, it'll be great to chat.